The small private airport was busy that morning.
This is incredible.
Private jets were coming in and out.
Come, let me show you.
Rich people were laughing. Cameras were flashing. The smell of fuel was in the air. The sound of engines filled the sky. Near the metal fence, a black homeless woman stood quietly. Her clothes were old. Her shoes were worn out. She carried a small bag on her shoulder. Many people walked past her like she did not exist. But her eyes were different. She was not looking at the people. She was looking at the planes. Her eyes followed every takeoff, every landing. It was like she was not just watching. It was like she was remembering. A group of rich men walked by. In front of them was a loud millionaire. He was showing off. He was talking about his new jet. He was smiling big. One of his friends noticed the woman staring at the plane. He laughed and said, "Hey, look at her. She looks like she wants to fly that thing." The men laughed. The woman did not laugh. She did not get angry. She just smiled a little. She whispered to herself, very soft, "I used to fly bigger than this." One man heard her. He said loud, "What did you say?" The woman looked at him. Her voice was calm. Her face was serious. "I said, I used to fly bigger planes than that." The millionaire stopped walking. He turned around slowly. He looked her up and down. Old clothes, dirty shoes, small bag. He laughed. "You? Fly a plane?" he said. "You can barely fly a shopping cart." The people around them started to laugh. Some pulled out their phones. Some shook their heads. The woman stayed calm. She stepped closer to the fence. She looked at the jet with respect. Like she knew it. She said, "Flying is not about money. It is about skill." The millionaire smiled in a cruel way. "Skill," he said. "You don't even look like you own a toothbrush." More laughter. The woman did not move. She did not shout. She did not beg. She looked straight at him and said, "Give me one chance. I will show you." That made everyone laugh harder. "Show us what?" The millionaire asked. "How to beg in first class." The woman took a slow breath. "I will show you how to fly," she said. The group went quiet for 1 second. Then they laughed again. One man said, "This is better than TV." Another said, "Someone get popcorn." The millionaire crossed his arms. He looked at her like she was a joke. "You really think you can fly my plane?" he said. "Yes," she answered. No long speech. No fear. Just one word. "Yes." The millionaire shook his head. "This is crazy," he said. "But I like crazy." He pointed at one of his private jets. "That one is mine," he said. "Brand new. Very expensive." The woman looked at the plane. Her eyes changed. For a small second, pain showed. Then pride. The millionaire smiled and said loud so everyone could hear, "I'll tell you what. If you can fly that plane, I will give it to you." The crowd gasped. Some people laughed louder. Some people said, "No way." Someone shouted, "She can't even afford a bus ticket." The woman did not smile. She did not laugh. Her face became serious. She stepped closer. The sound of the engines was loud. The wind from a landing plane hit her face. She closed her eyes for 1 second. When she opened them, her voice was different. "Do you promise?" she asked. The millionaire laughed. "Of course," he said. "Everyone here will see it. This will be fun." Phones were up. People were recording. Security started to look. The woman looked at the plane again. "Very soft," she said. "I never stopped being a pilot." No one heard that part, but the camera did. The millionaire waved his hand. "All right, homeless pilot," he said. "Let's see what you got." The woman took one slow step forward. The crowd laughed, but something in her walk was different. She did not walk like a beggar. She walked like someone who belonged on the runway. And for the first time, the laughter started to feel unsure. The laughter did not stop. Phones stayed in the air. People pointed at the woman like she was a show. Security guards started walking closer. One guard spoke into his radio. "This homeless woman is causing a scene," he said. "We may need to remove her." The woman heard that. Her shoulders dropped a little, but she did not step back. She kept her eyes on the plane. The millionaire's friends were enjoying the moment. One man said, "This is going viral for sure." Another said, "Best airport entertainment ever." A young airport worker looked at the woman. For a second, he felt bad. But when others laughed, he looked away. The woman touched the fence slowly with her fingers. The cold metal made a small sound. She whispered, "This fence used to be open for me." No one heard her. A man in a pilot uniform walked by. He stopped when he saw the crowd. "What is going on here?" the pilot asked. The millionaire smiled. This woman says she can fly my jet, he said. So I told her if she can, I will give it to her. The pilot looked at the woman, at her clothes, at her tired face. Then he looked at her hands. Her hands were rough, but her fingers were placed in a strange way, like they were holding an invisible control stick. The pilot felt something strange, but he pushed it away. Security stepped closer. Ma'am, a guard said, you need to move away from this area. The woman turned slowly. Just 1 minute, she said. Please. Her voice was not weak. It was calm. It was steady. The guard hesitated. The millionaire laughed. Come on, let her talk, he said. This is fun. The woman looked at the pilot. Can I sit in the cockpit? She asked. Just once. The pilot almost laughed. The cockpit, he said. That's not a toy. I know, she said. That's why I asked. That made him pause. The pilot looked at her eyes. They were tired, but they were sharp, not lost, not confused, focused. I just want to smell it again, she said. The leather, the fuel, the air. The pilot felt a small chill. How do you know about that? He asked. She did not answer right away. She looked past him, at the sky. I spent my life in that smell, she said. People around them laughed again. She's crazy, someone said. She's acting, another said. The millionaire waved his hand. Let her sit, he said. 5 minutes. For the cameras. The pilot shook his head. This is not a game, he said. The woman stepped closer to him. She pulled her sleeve up a little. On her wrist was an old watch. Not fancy, not new, but it had aviation markings on it. The pilot's eyes went to the watch, then to her finger. She wore a small, worn ring. It had a tiny wing symbol. The pilot's face changed. Where did you get that ring? He asked. The woman looked at it. They gave it to me, she said, after my first solo test flight. The pilot froze. That's not funny, he said. I'm not joking, she replied. The crowd started to get quiet. The millionaire felt it. What is this? He said. Some fake story? The woman did not look at him. She looked only at the plane. My name used to be on that runway, she said softly. Painted on the wall. The pilot swallowed. That wall was taken down years ago, he said. I know, she said. I watched them tear it down. Silence. Even the phones stopped moving for 1 second. The pilot looked at her again. Not her clothes. Not her bag. At her posture. The way she stood. Straight. Balanced. Like a pilot waiting for clearance. You don't walk like a homeless person, he said. She gave a sad smile. I didn't always live on the street, she said. The millionaire crossed his arms. This is getting weird, he said. Either let her try, or let's end this. The pilot looked at the woman. Why should I let you into my cockpit? He asked. The woman met his eyes. Because if I don't touch those controls today, she said, a part of me dies for good. The pilot felt something hit his chest. He took a deep breath. 5 minutes, he said. Just sitting. No flying. The crowd gasped. The millionaire smiled. All right, he said. Let's see what this pilot does. The woman nodded. As she followed the pilot toward the plane, the laughter was still there. But now, it sounded nervous. And for the first time, the crowd was not sure anymore who they were laughing at. The door of the jet opened with a soft hiss. The sound was small, but to the woman, it sounded like a memory waking up. She stopped for 1 second at the stairs. She placed her hand on the side of the plane. Her fingers moved slowly, like she was touching an old friend. The pilot watched her. Most people rushed up plane stairs. She did not. She stepped with care, with respect, with a calm that did not match her clothes. The crowd below kept filming. Look at her acting like a movie star, someone said. The millionaire laughed. Don't trip, he shouted. She kept going. Each item. In order. No pause. No mistake. The pilot felt his heart beat faster. Outside, the millionaire leaned to his friend. She memorized something from YouTube, he said. Inside, the pilot whispered, this is not YouTube. The woman stopped. She looked at him. Your first instructor, she said. His name was Captain Reynolds. The pilot froze. Yes, he said slowly. How do you know that? She looked at the window. He failed me once, she said. Then he said I would become better than him. The pilot felt his hands get cold. That was classified training, he said. The woman finally looked at him. Her eyes were not weak. They were strong, heavy, full of history. I was not always invisible, she said. I used to be on the front page. The The pilot leaned back. "Say your name," he said. She hesitated. For the first time. Just 1 second. Then she said it. The pilot's face changed. His breath stopped. "That's impossible," he whispered. Outside, the millionaire was still laughing. Inside the cockpit, a legend had just spoken her name. The cockpit felt smaller now. Not because of space, but because of truth. The pilot stared at her. "That name," he said slowly, "has not been spoken here in years." The woman did not look proud. She did not smile. She looked tired. "That is because they buried it," she said, "along with everything else." The pilot turned his seat slightly. He looked at the control panel, then at her, then back at the panel. His hands were shaking a little. "I need to check something," he said. He pulled up a system screen. "Old training access. Archive pilot records." "Why?" the woman asked. "Because if you are who you say you are," he said, "then this plane is not big enough for your history." Outside, the crowd was getting louder. The millionaire was bored. "Are they done yet?" he said. "She better not break anything." Inside, the pilot typed. "Slow. Careful." The screen loaded. 1 second. 2 seconds. The woman watched the screen. Her face did not change. Like she already knew. The pilot leaned closer. His eyes moved fast. "Name. Flight hours. Test programs. Special clearance." His breath stopped. "This can't be real," he whispered. "What do you see?" the woman asked. The pilot turned the screen a little toward her. Not fully. Just enough. The woman saw her old name. Her old photo. Young. Strong. In a flight suit. She looked away. "I don't need to see it," she said. The pilot's voice broke. "You flew classified aircraft," he said. "Aircraft that do not exist on public lists." She nodded. "Yes." "You tested emergency systems," he said. "Engines that failed on purpose." "Yes." "You train pilots who now train others," he said. "Yes." The pilot leaned back. "My instructor spoke about you," he said. "But he said you disappeared." The woman looked at her hands. "I didn't disappear," she said. "I fell." The pilot waited. She did not continue. Outside, the millionaire tapped his watch. "Enough drama," he said. "Either she flies or this is over." Inside, the pilot stood up. He looked at the woman with new eyes. Not like a homeless person, like a commander, like a mentor, like a legend. "Why did you leave aviation?" he asked. The woman's jaw tightened. "My husband was my co-pilot," she said. "We flew together." The pilot did not interrupt. "One night," she continued, "a test went wrong. The cockpit felt colder. The plane came down," she said. "He didn't make it." The pilot lowered his head. "I blame myself," she said. "Even when the report said it was not my fault." She took a slow breath. "I stopped flying," she said. "I stopped living." The pilot felt something heavy in his chest. "You were supposed to lead a new program," he said. "Advanced training. Future pilots." She nodded. "Yes." "That was taken away." The pilot looked at the screen again. "They marked your file as closed," he said. "No follow-up. No support. They want a clean story," she said. "Heroes are easy. Broken people are not." Outside, someone shouted, "Kick her out." Another said, "She's wasting time." Inside, the pilot closed the screen. He turned to her. "You should not be here," he said. She smiled softly. "I know," she said. "I should be in a museum." The pilot almost laughed. They became serious. "But you are here," he said, "and you were sitting in my cockpit." "Yes," she said. "And you knew things only high-level pilots know," he said. "Yes." "And your record matches," he said. The woman looked at the windshield. "At this height," she said, "the sky does not care about your past." The pilot stood still. He made a decision. He opened the cockpit door slightly. The noise of the crowd rushed in. The millionaire looked up. "What's taking so long?" he shouted. The pilot did not answer him. He looked at the woman. His voice was low. "Do you still have it?" he asked. "The instincts." She placed her hand on the control stick. Not moving it, just touching it. "I never lost it," she said. "I just buried it." The pilot nodded slowly. Then he said something that changed everything. "If I let you fly," he said, "this will not be a joke anymore." The woman looked at him. Her eyes were steady. "It never was," she said. The pilot took a deep breath. He opened the cockpit door wider. The crowd leaned in. The millionaire smiled. "All right," he said. "Showtime." But inside the cockpit, The pilot was no longer joking. He was sitting next to history. The cockpit door was now fully open. The noise of the crowd rushed inside. Phones were raised higher. People pushed closer. The millionaire smiled wide. "All right," he said. "Let's see this big secret." The pilot stood up. He did not look at the millionaire. He looked at the woman. His voice was steady. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said loud enough for the crowd, "this is not a homeless woman playing a game." Some people laughed. The pilot raised his hand. "Please listen," he said. The laughter slowly faded. "This woman," the pilot continued, "was one of the top test pilots in this country." The crowd went quiet. "She flew aircraft most of you will never hear about," he said. "She trained pilots who now train others." The millionaire frowned. "Come on," he said. "This is some made-up story." The pilot turned his tablet screen outward. On it was an old photo. A young black woman in a flight suit, standing in front of a jet, smiling, strong, proud. The crowd gasped. The woman in the photo was her. The same eyes, the same face, just younger. The pilot spoke again. "She broke flight records," he said. "She tested emergency systems. She saved lives." People started whispering. "That's her. I recognize her. I saw her in a documentary." The woman stood up slowly. She did not like the attention. "I'm not here for fame," she said. "I am here because flying is the only thing that ever made me feel whole." The millionaire's smile was gone. "This is a trick," he said. "You can fake photos." The pilot shook his head. "These are government records," he said. "Locked for years." The woman looked at the crowd. "You don't have to believe me," she said. "I stopped trying to prove myself a long time ago." A woman in the crowd started crying. "My father talked about you," she said. "He said you were the bravest pilot he ever met." The woman closed her eyes for a moment. Another man stepped forward. "I trained under someone you trained," he said. "They told stories about you." The crowd energy changed. Phones stopped shaking. People stopped laughing. They were listening now. The millionaire looked uncomfortable. "So what?" he said. "Legends don't live on the street." The woman turned to him. "Neither do widows," she said. "Neither do broken people. But life does not ask where you want to fall." Silence. She continued. "My husband died in a test crash," she said. "I survived. I blame myself." The crowd felt the weight. "I walked away from flying," she said. "I walked away from people. Eventually, I walked away from myself." The pilot lowered his head. "You should have been honored," he said. The woman gave a sad smile. "I was forgotten," she said. The millionaire shifted his feet. This was not funny anymore. This was not content anymore. This was real. "So what now?" he asked. "You want sympathy?" The woman looked at him. "I want respect," she said. "Not for me. For what I gave." The pilot stepped forward. "She earned the right to sit in any cockpit in this country," he said. The crowd clapped softly, then louder, then full applause. The millionaire raised his hands. "Fine," he said. "Big story. Big legend." He pointed to the plane. "But can she still fly?" The woman looked at the plane. Her face changed. Not sad. Not broken. Focused. "Yes," she said. The pilot looked at her. "You don't have to prove anything," he said. She shook her head. "I'm not proving it to them," she said. "I am proving it to myself." The pilot nodded. He stepped back into the co-pilot's seat. The crowd leaned forward. The millionaire crossed his arms. "All right," he said. "Let's see history fly." The woman sat back in the captain's seat. She placed her hands on the controls. Not shaking. Not scared. Home. The engines hummed softly. The crowd held its breath. She looked out the windshield. For the first time in years, she smiled. And in that moment, everyone knew. This was no longer a joke. This was a comeback. The engines began to wake up. Not loud. Not wild. Smooth. Strong. The woman moved the controls with calm hands. The cockpit lights glowed. The pilot watched her closely. Every move was clean. Every touch was soft. She did not rush. She respected the machine. Outside, the crowd went quiet. Even the millionaire stopped talking. The woman spoke softly. "Clear on the left," she said. The pilot checked. "Clear," he answered. "Clear on the right," she said. "Clear," he answered. She nodded. She pushed the throttle forward slowly. The plane began to roll. The tires moved. The sound changed. The crowd felt it. Phones followed the jet. Someone whispered, "She's really doing it." The millionaire felt his stomach tighten. "This is real," he said under his breath. The plane lined up on the runway. The woman took a deep breath. Not fear. Memory. Power. "Ready," she said. The pilot answered. "Ready." She pushed the throttle forward. The engines roared. The plane rushed forward. The speed climbed. The crowd held their breath. The runway lines blurred. Then, she pulled back gently. The plane lifted. The wheels left the ground. The jet climbed into the sky. The crowd exploded. Cheers. Gasps. Hands in the air. "She's flying. Oh my God, that was perfect." The millionaire stepped back. His mouth open. He could not speak. Inside the cockpit, the woman's eyes filled with tears. Not from fear. From coming home. She whispered, "Hello, sky." The pilot smiled. "Welcome back," he said. She leveled the plane. Smooth. Steady. Like she never left. "Your climb angle is beautiful," the pilot said. She nodded. "I missed this," she said. Down below, the crowd looked small. The airport looked small. The woman looked at the horizon. For a moment, she was not homeless. She was not broken. She was a pilot again. A leader. A legend. The pilot looked at her. "You still have it," he said. She smiled. "I never lost it," she said. "I just lost myself." They flew a clean pattern. Perfect turns. Perfect speed. Perfect control. The tower cleared them to land. The woman lined up for landing. Her hands were steady. Her breathing slow. The ground came closer. She lowered the flaps. She adjusted speed. "Looking good," the pilot said. The runway filled the windshield. She touched down. Soft. Smooth. Perfect. The wheels kissed the ground. The plane rolled. The engines slowed. The crowd exploded again. People jumped. People cried. People clapped. "That was beautiful. She's amazing. I can't believe this." The plane taxied back. The millionaire stood frozen. The jet stopped. The engines powered down. The cockpit door opened. The woman stepped out. The applause was loud. Very loud. People shouted her name. The millionaire walked forward slowly. His face was different now. No yoke. No ismail. Just shame. He looked at her. "I was wrong," he said. In front of everyone. "I judged you." The woman looked at him. "I'm used to that," she said. He swallowed. "I said I would give you the plane," he said. "I will keep my word." The crowd gasped. The woman looked at the plane. Then she looked at the people. Then she looked back at him. She shook her head. "I don't want your plane," she said. The millionaire was shocked. "What?" he asked. "I don't need another machine," she said. "I need something with purpose." The crowd went quiet. The millionaire leaned closer. "What do you want?" he asked. The woman looked at the sky. Then she looked at the kids, watching from behind the fence. "I want a future," she said. "For people like me. For kids who dream of flying, but think they never will." The millionaire felt it hit his chest. The crowd felt it too. She was not just flying a plane. She was lifting lives. And in that moment, everyone knew this was bigger than a flight. This was a second chance. The airport did not feel the same anymore. What started as a joke had turned into a moment of history. The crowd stayed. No one rushed away. They did not want to miss what came next. The millionaire stood quiet. For the first time that day, he was not the center. The woman was. She stood near the plane. Not as a guest. Not as a joke. But as a pilot. As a leader. The pilot walked beside her. "You changed something today," he said. She looked at the runway. "I just reminded myself who I am," she said. The millionaire stepped forward. His voice was softer now. "You said you wanted a future," he said. "For kids who dream of flying." She nodded. "Yes," she said. "I slept on the street with dreams bigger than buildings. I don't want anyone else to believe their dream is too big." The millionaire took a deep breath. "I will fund it," he said. "An aviation training program. For kids who cannot afford it. For people who were told no too many times." The crowd gasped. She looked at him. "Not for my name," she said. "Not for your image." He nodded. "For their future," he said. She held out her hand. He shook it. That handshake was not about money. It was about respect. News crews arrived. Cameras flashed. Reporters asked questions. "Is it true? Are you really that pilot? How did you survive all these years?" She did not answer everything. She only said one thing. "Life can knock you down," she said, "but it does not get to decide who you are." People shared the video. Million watched. The homeless woman became a symbol, not of shame, but of strength. A few months later, the airport had a new sign, Future Wings Aviation Program. Under it, smaller words, opportunity for every dream. The woman stood in a clean flight jacket. Her hair was neat. Her eyes were still strong. Kids stood in front of her. Boys, girls, different colors, different stories, all with the same dream. I was told I was finished, she told them. I believed it for a long time. Don't make my mistake. One small girl raised her hand. Can someone like me really fly? She asked. The woman smiled. Someone like you, she said, is exactly who should fly. The millionaire watched from a distance. He was not in front of cameras anymore. He was in the background, learning, growing. One day, he walked up to her. I thought money made me powerful, he said. Today, I learned respect does. She nodded. Power is loud, she said. Purpose is quiet. Years later, people still talked about that day. Not as a joke, not as a viral clip, but as the day a legend came back. The woman did not become rich. She became something better. She became a bridge between broken dreams and new beginnings, between streets and skies. One reporter once asked her, "What do you want to be remembered for?" She thought for a long time. Then she said, "I don't want to be remembered as a homeless woman. I don't want to be remembered as a legend. I want to be remembered as proof." Proof of what? The reporter asked. She looked up at a plane taking off. Proof that your worst chapter, she said, does not get to be your last chapter. The camera pulled back. Planes in the sky, kids on the ground, dreams in the air, and a woman who was once mocked, once ignored, once broken, now standing tall, not as a joke, not as a memory, but as a message to the world. Never judge a book by its cover, because sometimes the person you laugh at is standing in front of history.